Imagine waking up and having the complete freedom to decide what you'll do with your day. No alarm clock demanding your attention, no boss expecting you at the office, no fixed schedule constraining your choices, just pure unrestricted freedom to follow whatever path calls to you in that moment. This isn't some far-fetched fantasy. This is a reality that's possible to build. A lifestyle where freedom isn't just an occasional weekend break or a 2-week vacation, but the foundation of everyday life. In a previous discussion, we explored how ultimate freedom comes from owning nothing but controlling everything. That powerful concept that John D. Rockefeller understood so well. Today, I want to go deeper into how this freedom philosophy perfectly intertwines with the 3 pillars: faith, trading, and travel. Let's start with faith, the bedrock of everything. In Matthew 6:25-26, Jesus tells us, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" This passage isn't suggesting we should be irresponsible with our resources. Rather, it's showing us that true freedom comes from understanding that our security doesn't lie in stockpiling possessions or wealth. The birds don't own anything, yet they're provided for. They're free precisely because they aren't weighed down by possessions. When someone embraces this spiritual truth, it transforms their understanding of freedom. They realize that security isn't in owning multiple properties or filling storage units with rarely used items. True security comes from developing skills, building systems, nurturing relationships, and most importantly, strengthening faith. This spiritual freedom serves as the perfect foundation for the second pillar, trading. Trading, when approached correctly, isn't just about making money. It's about creating a system that generates resources without demanding your physical presence or time. Most people spend their lives trading time for money in a linear equation. 8 hours of work equals X dollars of pay. But this approach creates an inherent ceiling on both income and freedom. There are only so many hours in a day. Trading breaks this equation. When you develop skill in the markets, you're no longer exchanging your time directly for money. Instead, you're exchanging your knowledge and decision-making for money. And once you establish reliable systems, much of this can be automated or streamlined, requiring only occasional oversight. The reality is that markets move 24 hours a day, whether you're watching them or not. Opportunities arise constantly. With the right approach, you can position yourself to benefit from these movements without chaining yourself to a desk or screen. Trading can be structured specifically to maximize freedom rather than just maximizing profits. Many traders make the mistake of pursuing the highest possible returns at the cost of their time, health, and peace of mind. They might make impressive returns, but they're essentially creating another job for themselves, often one with more stress and longer hours than a conventional career. Instead, focusing on consistent, sustainable strategies that don't require constant monitoring is often the wiser path. Using a combination of longer-term position trades, automated systems, and brief focused analysis sessions can generate substantial returns while preserving what's truly valuable: freedom and peace of mind. The beautiful thing about trading as a vehicle for freedom is that it can be done from anywhere, with an internet connection, which brings us to the third pillar, travel. Humans are naturally nomadic beings. For most of our existence as a species, we moved with the seasons, following resources and opportunities. It's only in recent centuries that we've become so sedentary, tied to specific locations by jobs and mortgages. The digital age has created an unprecedented opportunity to return to our nomadic roots, but with all the comforts and security of modern life. We can now live as digital nomads, experiencing different cultures, climates, and communities throughout the year. The freedom to travel isn't just about sightseeing or vacations. It's about living in harmony with your natural rhythms and preferences. Perhaps you thrive in tropical warmth during winter months, but prefer moderate temperatures in summer. Maybe you feel most creative in busy urban environments, but need quiet natural settings to recharge. When you're tied to a single location by ownership, a mortgage, property taxes, maintenance responsibilities, you sacrifice this freedom to align your environment with your needs and desires. Consider what many homeowners experience. Between mortgage interest, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and the opportunity cost of the down payment, the true cost of ownership is often far higher than people realize. Many are essentially working to support their house rather than having a house that supports their life. For those who embrace a more mobile lifestyle, the math often works out differently. Renting beautiful places around the world can sometimes cost less than owning one fixed location. By investing capital that would have gone into a down payment and instead generating income through trading, some people create both greater financial returns and greater freedom. Instead of one home that owns you, you can have many homes around the world that serve you. You can create a network of places where you feel comfortable and connected: Bangkok, Medellin, Miami, Bali, and move between them based on weather, opportunities, and where you feel called to serve. This brings us back to the spiritual dimension of freedom. Faith calls us to serve others, to feed the hungry, to share the good news. And a lifestyle of freedom enables this far more effectively than being tied to one location. When a natural disaster strikes and people need help, you can go there. When an opportunity to share the gospel emerges in a different country, you can respond. Faith directs the path. Trading provides the resources, and freedom from ownership allows travel to where you're needed. This integration of faith, trading, and travel creates what we might call purpose-driven freedom. Freedom that's not just about self-indulgence, but about fulfilling your calling more effectively. Consider how this might work in practice. Imagine feeling called to support a feeding program in a remote village. Because your income comes from trading systems that don't require constant attention, you could spend weeks there, helping to establish sustainable food sources and sharing the gospel with people who had never heard it. You wouldn't need to request time off work, explain yourself to a boss, or worry about lost income. You could simply go where you felt called, do the work that needed doing, and manage trading positions in the brief moments when you had internet access. This is the kind of freedom we're talking about. Not freedom from responsibility, but freedom to align your resources, time, and presence with your deepest values. For those interested in moving toward this lifestyle, here are some practical steps to consider. First, adopt a minimalist mindset. Before buying anything, ask yourself, will this purchase increase or decrease my freedom? Often, what seems like a desirable acquisition is actually a subtle trap that will demand your time, attention, and resources going forward. Second, focus on developing location-independent income streams. Trading is one powerful vehicle for this, but there are many others: remote work, online businesses, freelancing, or creating digital products. The key is that your income isn't tied to your physical presence in a specific location. Third, practice flexible permanence in your living situation. Rather than owning property, build relationships and systems that give you comfortable, familiar places to stay in different locations. This might mean renting the same vacation home for a month each year, house sitting for friends who travel, or establishing relationships with certain hotels or Airbnb hosts who welcome you back regularly. Fourth, streamline your possessions to what truly serves you. Many successful digital nomads travel with just 2 bags, one for clothes and personal items and another for laptop and essential equipment. Everything else can be rented or accessed temporarily in each location. Fifth, build community connections rather than accumulating belongings. Rich relationships in multiple locations provide far more security and fulfillment than owning property or possessions. When you have genuine friends in different parts of the world, you always have a support system, regardless of where you are. Finally, allow faith to guide this journey. For Christians, the Bible provides both the why and the how of freedom. Jesus calls us to travel light, to not worry about material possessions, and to be ready to go where we're needed. The early Christians were known for their willingness to relocate for the sake of the gospel, carrying their most valuable possession, their faith, within them. The philosopher Diogenes once said that the foundation of every state is the education of its youth. We might add that the foundation of true freedom is the education of yourself, learning how markets work, how to generate location-independent income, how to travel effectively, and most importantly, how to let your faith guide these decisions. I want to invite you to join our Discord community where we discuss these principles in depth. We share trading strategies that support freedom, travel tips for digital nomads, and ways to integrate faith into this lifestyle. It's a place where like-minded individuals help each other break free from conventional limitations and create lives of purpose-driven freedom. Remember, ultimate freedom isn't about owning everything. It's about controlling what matters while remaining unburdened by what doesn't. It's about having the resources, time, and mobility to follow your calling wherever it leads. And it's about recognizing that true security doesn't come from what you own, but from what you know, who you know, and ultimately, who you know. Thank you for joining me today. If this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Together, we can redefine what freedom means in the modern age.